intention of what we would like to accomplish in the next hour, or it's going to be so much different for us. And so the first thing I would like you to do is, in your mind, figure out what it is that you would like to set your intention on today, and what you would like to accomplish in this next hour, and set that energy. Because we can just go to work and do those things, but if we're not setting ourselves up for a win, then it's just putting that activity at not its highest vibration. And I love what Sam has just taught us. And so our ability that what we put out comes back to us 3 times stronger. It's a law. So whatever it is that we are being very specific in, then that's going to come back to us. So first off, set your intention for what you would like to accomplish in the next hour, or for this day. What do you want to do? Your word for the day. Like creating, a lot of days I will be, how can I create a magical moment for someone today? So once we have that, then the next activity, because we set that vibration out to the world, then I would like you to text someone a text of gratitude, and not, hey, you just rock, something that's really heartfelt that you would like. So I'm not going to tell you a number. If you want to do 1 or 2, that's great, but just set out an intention of gratitude of somebody that maybe you haven't spoke to, or that you have felt the need to be just really listen to your heart, and send somebody a text right now, so we can set this intention and ourselves about gratitude will make a huge difference. So let's do that really at first. Awesome. So do you all feel a little bit different in your heart? You feel a little bit like you're out of your head and more in your heart? Can you hear me okay, Sam? Cameron? Perfect. So in our hearts, we feel a lot different. The energy that we're putting out to the world is going to be totally different when we put ourselves into that space of being intentional, that we're giving rather than just taking. So the next thing is we're going to do a post. We would like to do a post of something that's kind of the energy of the world right now is having goals, sharing wins from the past year. In your heart, you're going to know, like, what is it? The reason I'm posting is for what purpose? To have some conversations, right? So if we are intentional about our post and the kind of energy and the people that we would like to attract back, what would that post sound like to us? You know, like, share with me the biggest win from the past year. Do you believe in resolutions? Do you set goals? Something along those lines, okay? So we're starting to think about what our post is going to look like and who we would want to touch, who we would want to have a conversation with, because that's the reason that we're posting, right? We're trying to have some conversations, we're trying to give back, and then have these great conversations and these great relationships. So we're thinking about our post for a minute. And why we are thinking about our post, yes, to create engagement, right? And so as we're thinking about what we're about to post about something along the goal area, and so that we're going to go into our social media of where we are going to post. If it's Facebook, Instagram, and then everybody go in and spend a couple of minutes commenting on a person, especially that you feel like you would like to have a conversation about. Put something on their page, write a little comment on that. Go through the stories, comment on somebody's post that you'd like to have, give them hearts. But also, if you start to have a conversation about that, and if you are not even sure, go to your own page where on your last comments of people where they commented on you, the people that liked your stuff, go in and comment on some of the things that they would like. So go in and comment on at least like 5 people's stuff. And give them, like, not just, hey, Yahoo, something that's a little bit more heartfelt, that, hey, I would love this if somebody said this to me on one of my posts.
Yeah. And just to add to that, I love that, Lisa. Just to add to that, make sure it's not like other provers, people that are already in your team, already, like, you want to do this with new people. So let's do that. Let's take 2 minutes and warm that algorithm. And then we're going to give you some post ideas to make there for engagement. So I'll set our timer, Lisa.
Yeah, perfect. I love that. So yeah, and especially if you've met a new friend, some of the last people that were on your Facebook that you become friends with, this is a great time to go in and warm that audience up, because then they're going to see your stuff more.
All right, so our timer just went off. Did you guys get a chance to get some engagement going there? That's always a good idea to do before you post, even if you just take 2 minutes and just warm it up. So love that. All right, Lisa, you want me to
yeah,
share?
Go ahead. Let's share some post ideas.
Okay, So I dropped
And
some
then one thing, write all of these down, because this will be some great ideas through through this whole week, through this whole New Year's area and time. That this isn't just one day's
literally
idea.
great minds think alike. That's what I was gonna say. Copy and paste it, put it on your notes. Like, take all of these. I know there's a lot, y'all. Don't post them all. But listen, one post, you can do more than one post a day. You guys realize that, right? I'm gonna give you permission if you've been feeling like you can't. Just remember, it's about balance, right? It's about sharing different stuff. If you want to post 3 times a day because you're trying to build your engagement, do it. Do an engagement post once a day at a time that you feel like a lot of people are online. Share an inspirational quote. By the way, you know what I do with that? And sometimes these are my most viewed and shared posts, is I go to either Pinterest or Instagram or wherever, and I scroll and I see posts that like stop me, and I'm like, oh, love that. That's so good. Do you guys ever see like quote cards that you're like, that's so good? Yeah. Laura's like, yeah, all the time. Yeah, me too. So when you see that, save it and then go post it in your words. Type that little, you don't have to share it as an image. You can share it as an image, but you can also type it with a colored background. Like, most quotes that we see are not originals, right? Or sayings or whatever. You don't have to like be all copyright weird. You're just taking and sharing something that somebody said. You see people do it where they're like, hashtag read that again, right? Like, it's like that, bam, that thing that like stops you. You can literally share something like that every day. But make sure you're also sharing a picture of things that bring people joy, like your animals, your kids, your Christmas tree, your Hanukkah setup, whatever you celebrate and love and do, like whatever your life is about, like share that too. But my encouragement for you on social media as a whole would be to focus on doing that better in 2023. If you feel like you haven't done that, well, and that starts now, right? Like, nobody's waiting till 2 days to start doing stuff, but say, you know what, I'm going to show up more. I'm going to do a little bit more, or I'm going to do a lot more, but I'm going to start with a little bit more. And I'm going to decide 3 main points. And that's what I'm going to share on. I'm going to do a morning mix up every day so that people see that I don't only talk about ketones, I put them in my body every day. Right. So I want you to really just adopt that mindset, because people can give you social media post ideas all day. Like, there's an endless amount on the internet. You can go pay like $3 and get 365 days of content, right? Everybody knows that, right? So it's not about that. It's not for lack of like what to post. It's about wrapping our head around it, because then we can do that and we can make it ours and we can show up as our best version of us. So engagement is so good. It's so big. So take these, grab these, copy and paste them. We can like pull some out or something. Like, we'll make sure you get them if you're not seeing it in the comments for any reason. But show me what you do for a living with a GIF. That one's been doing good for the team. What's a trip you want to take in 2023? Like, what a cool way to see like who your travelers are, like who your visionaries are, like who your dreamers are, right? What is something that you intend to do more of in 2023? Goodness, how many directions could you take that? There's no script for these answers, y'all. This is a trigger for your mind to remember. I always remind people, like, scripts are great, language is great, right? But take this and use this so that you can come from your heart and be personable and be like, oh my gosh, I see that you want to do, XYZ more, and talk to people. And then what's a favorite memory you have of 2023? So did you guys grab those? Were you able to take that and put it somewhere, make a quick post? Let's take like 2 minutes tops and just get that out there. You probably already did. I've been blabbering, but I have a really cool idea around this too for your stories that I'm going to give you. And another tip too, just because I saw something literally as soon as I pulled up my timeline here. If you're not gonna, from my experience, if you're not going to include a picture with your post, this is on Facebook. If you're not going to include a picture with your post and it's a short one, you might want to do the colored background. Like, the colored background does good. If it's too long for the colored background, add some emojis to give it some life, right? But think about what stops you. Do a scroll on your timeline and see what stops you and makes you read. Like Brittany Evans here has a great picture of her and her husband from their wedding day. I'm going to stop and read what she wrote because it caught my attention. But if she just wrote the words here, it may not catch my attention. So that's just kind of a Facebook 101 little extra thing there. Okay. So I'm going to assume that you guys got that. And why? I don't know how to make that stop on my computer. I'm so sorry. That is so annoying. It wasn't doing that until recently. Okay. So I'm going to give you I'm going to put it on gallery for a minute because it's really weird that I can't see y'all. Okay. So now I want to give you an idea that you could use for a reel, and you could also use it for your story. Okay. And what this is what I'm going to have you do is go back through your photos on your phone. Does everybody have a cell phone that they take photos with? Yes. Okay. Everyone has a segment in your phone where you can see your photos, right? And I'm not an Android person, but I assume that I know Android is kind of smarter than Apple. So I know y'all stuff does this, but like, you know how you can see each by the month, like all April's photos, all June's photos, okay. I want you to go through and pull one photo. And this can tie into Samantha's exercise because she talked about going back through your photos and like noting things that you know you're appreciative for and that you grew through and experiences you had. So while you're doing that, grab one photo from each month. And you can hit that photo and like save it to an album. Call the album 2023 highlights. Okay, excuse me, 2022 highlights. That folder is going to have 12 photos in there. Take those 12 photos and make one of those reels where it does like, you know how it flashes like the photos fast? Listen, I don't know how to do a lot of fancy stuff on the video apps and stuff. I really promise that I don't. But most of them, if you went on TikTok right now and saw a video that's a trending 2022 look back, there's going to be where you can hit and use that filter. And you plug your little photos in, and guess what? You learned something new. You made a trending video. But the other thing that you can do with that is you can do it on your story. You can just very simply say, I wanted to take a moment and share my favorite memory or a special memory from each month of the year. I love seeing stuff like that people do. Isn't that nice? Like, don't you like to do that? I love that. Like, and you can literally take that and you can use it, and people are getting to know you. Like, it doesn't have to be some like crazy like action to come behind it or like call to action at the end. But by God, you could make an amazing call to action at the end. Like, you could take that so many different directions. Is that cool? Does anybody have any questions on that? Can you see where does everybody feel like they can do that? Okay, cool. It's not to do like right now while we're on here, because it would take too much time, but I encourage you to write it down and to do that activity. Okay. And then Lisa, anything you want to add in, or do you want me to go on into the challenge thing, what I have here? Where'd she go? Lisa. Okay. I'm gonna keep going. Just jump in whenever you want. So here's my next thing for you guys. So we did a little bit of social media stuff. Challenge. So how many of you, by the show of hands, are hosting some sort of customer challenge in January? Like where you're leading customers through a challenge of some kind. Okay, let me look both screens here. Okay. How many of you don't have a customer challenge of any kind planned for January? By show of hands. Okay, cool. Okay, how many of you that don't have one planned are open to guiding people through, whether it's an intermittent fasting challenge or a fat loss challenge for 20 days? Like, are y'all open to doing that? What that would look like, it could be done on a large scale or a small scale, right? Like, you can if you have a big team, get with your team, get a couple of your leaders together and say, hey, let's bring together a challenge, and let's invite people to it, and let's tell them what they need to buy, right? So if you don't have it already set up, and by the way, on a small scale, like if you don't have a big team to do it with, do it yourself. Let this be the start of what you're going to build into eventually taking 100 people through a challenge, right? Like grab hold of, like if Carol, she's right in the middle of the screen, so I'm gonna use her as an example. If Carol said, Cameron, I don't know, I'm kind of out here on an island, like it's kind of just, I don't have a team that we do stuff with, like I don't have a big Facebook group, like I'm just here. I would say, Carol, go find a couple people that are either already drinking ketones. Hey, I'll be done in a few minutes. Okay. Oh, my little nieces came in. I just love them so much. So, Carol, I would say, Carol, y'all go see the animals. Carol, go grab a couple people that are already drinking ketones and a couple people that maybe aren't yet, and make this Facebook post and go see who you can gather with you that can get their order in and do a challenge with you starting January 9th. If it ends up I'm giving January 9th as an example, because if you start on the 9th, you can coattail off the company challenge of the intermittent fasting and you can make it your own and you can customize it. I'm going to share some language with you guys too. But have a challenge. See, look, I'm going to do this challenge. And if you get 2 people to do this with you, you're winning, right? And you may be surprised and have a bunch of people that are like, yes, I need to do something. Please, I want to do this with you. But here's the thing is you're stepping into a next level of leadership when you take that on and you make your own chat for these people. Like if I want you and those 3 people, 4 people, 12 people, have a chat. It's called your support chat, right? People want accountability. So make a place. We tell our team, even if someone has only been a promoter for a few months, hey, the people you just attracted, your customers that are joining you, your cousin, sister, work friend, whoever, they know you. So you make the support chat, put us in there. We're there to help. You have another coach in there to help, right? And for that new person, but pop in the morning and be like, here's the flavor I'm having. What are y'all drinking today? Like, just guide them through it. And I promise you, whatever team you're a part of, if you say, hey, I'm going to do a challenge, it's going to be a 20-day fat loss challenge. What resources can you share with me that I can use? We have everything you need. You could literally go through the Drink Ketones group at bare minimum and like pull little stuff and put it together. I promise. So are we all good on that? Is that exciting? Is everybody in for that? So I'm going to give y'all, I'm going to put some language in here and then we can get it pulsed or whatever too. I'm going to just drop this over here for those of you that are copy and paste masters. You can grab that and throw it over into your notes. So you just need a date, you need a time frame, you need an invite, and then you need a little support spot. Okay. Here's some, if you make a post, like putting together a January challenge, whatever your post is that's going to attract. This is some language that I used, was just like, hey, I'm excited to tell you more. This is what it is. Would you like me to send you more info? They say yes. And then this, I didn't throw you like all the language. I just pulled a couple. You can fill in from here, and please don't ever send like a paragraph this long, like space it out accordingly, but just pull this language and take it and like make it work for you, like in how you're going to be conversating with people. But the point, like the whole thing is, as long as you have your little details set there, you're inviting people, and then you have enough time between now and then to kind of get a feel for what are you going to post on day one? Like maybe you're going to run this through a Facebook group. If you're going to run it through a Facebook group, what post are you going to make each day during that 20 days to give people value and support? Okay. And then your activity around this, literally the activity that you could use right now and through the rest of like literally the next couple days and into the next couple days, is having conversations about this, reaching out to your customers that have fallen off, customers that used to drink ketones that aren't drinking them. I'm going to give you a list of people that you should reach out to and invite for your January challenge. Okay. You ready? You got your pen and paper? Because it's coming from my brain, I can't copy and paste it. Okay. So anyone who's ever expressed interest, anyone who's ever had a trial pack, anyone who's ever ordered from you, ever, anyone who's currently on SmartShip, people that go back through any post you've made with your transformation and what you love about ketones and see who liked it. Because if they're that human that just supports people and loves people, then I just want to have a conversation with them to share some good energy, because I watch people that I'll like, right? And I don't necessarily want their product, but I'm supportive, and that means a lot. And a lot of times they'll jump in with you. So anybody who's liked your stuff, people that have watched your journey and watched your story, and literally just go back through, like if you communicate on Messenger, go back, do a big scroll and just go back through. You're going to find people. So you can either take and go through and just make a big master list. Maybe you already have a list in place, but I would literally every single day, like every day forever, but I'm just going to say every day for the next 5 days, go have that conversation. Make sure you're having that conversation and you're inviting people. Hey, listen, I don't know if this is something you're looking for, but we're doing a challenge. I'm doing a challenge. I'm hosting a challenge in January. It's focused around overall better habits. It's focused around fat loss. It's focused around intermittent fasting. It's focused around whatever you want it to be focused around, right? Amy Dove said on a team call recently, you always want to have something to invite to, right? So me telling you that if your team doesn't already have this in place, make it happen. That's teaching you to always have something to invite to, because guess what? You can always host a challenge. You can always host a 5-day hydration thing, right? A 5-day mindset. You have enough stuff from Joseph McClendon and Brian Underwood and everybody else that you could host a 5-day mindset challenge. And what is that? That's a reason to invite. It's a reason to have conversations with people. It puts you in a position. People are looking for positive people to follow. People are looking for future focused people to follow, not just in health, but in mindset and in all the areas. So establish yourself as that person. Does anyone have any questions on that? Okay. So I am personally complete. Lisa, I'm going to toss it back to you. I had only planned on 30 minutes here. So if you want to add anything on, Lisa, and then if we want to like end the Zoom and then you guys keep working, like stay in flow. If you're in flow, get some of these conversations going. But by the way, I'm Cameron Moss. I didn't even introduce myself. Thank you for allowing me to be one of your hosts today. And Lisa, I'll toss it back to you.
Perfect. I love that. I am complete as well. I think that we have some great ideas. If you have any questions, just you can even go back if you're going, hey, maybe I'm not attracting people with the conversations I've been having. I love to host a 5-day mindset challenge. And you could do that very easily, taking the notes from Sam's call earlier. But once you have those things in place, they're yours forever. And so it's a challenge that you can have in your notes, and you can go, okay, how are we doing in a quarterly down the road, and redo that a challenge. We might just call it something differently in order to attract those people. So I love that. I'm complete. If the rest of you have any other things, then let's carry on and be intentional today, and intentional about our direction that we are adding to the world rather than taking.